Welcome to the Come Up Starter Kit, guys. My name is Shanker and I am here today at Char. If you are looking to start a career in events, entertainment and marketing, we're going to speak to Danny Grant, who is the owner of Char, but we're going to be chatting to him at his nightclub at Empire. Look forward to it. Well, what am I to drink?
I'll grab something, mate.
Wait, aren't you Danny Grant?
Guilty as charged.
Welcome, guys. I am here with Danny Grant, one of Australia's leading club promoters, a creative mind and a serial entrepreneur. Thank you, Danny, for jumping on board.
Thanks.
Now, Danny, I wanted to give the people a 60-second rundown of your journey and who you are.
Awesome. So basically, I was born in the beautiful suburb of Dandenong, southeast Melbourne. If anyone knows it, I'm sure they think it's a great place to live. From there, my parents were very young, so they unfortunately got divorced, and then I moved in with my mum into a place in Glen Waverley, which was closer to my grandparents. I lived with my mum. We didn't really have a lot. We were pretty tight on money. Things were tight. She met my stepfather.
Right.
From there, we were still fairly poor, for use of a better term. And we moved to a place called Broadford, which is affordable for them. So Broadford is famous for Hells Angels concerts. So some of the people we grew up with were pretty interesting characters.
Yeah, right.
And it could be rough. It could be a rough town. Some great people, but also it could be rough. So from there, I loved growing up there in the country when I was a kid. But when I sort of hit the teenage years, things changed, and I was probably taking a different trajectory than I wanted to. And I was doing silly things. And because of that, this was a bittersweet moment in my life. And to be fair, as bad as it seemed at the time, without it, I probably wouldn't have been where I am today. But I got expelled from school for mucking up. And then I left and I went back to Glen Waverley, which is where I originally was kind of living before we moved there. I worked for a bit and I realized that I really didn't want to do that. So I went back to school. And when I went back to school, I basically still kind of stuffed around, to be honest. I didn't really learn my lesson, but effectively around that sort of 20 mark, I met my current wife, my wife still to this day. I've only had one, but I basically met her and I laid some foundations, and from there I sort of took some of the negative things that I'd learned or done in the past, and I took all the good parts out of that and I used it as a way to like really figure out how I could stand on my own 2 feet, and also to how to adapt in situations and basically use that as a way to mold the person I am, use the bad to mold the good person I am today.
Nice, amazing. Now, we are at one of your establishments, Empire Nightclub, that is based out in Narre. Now, this place is an institution and is one of Australia's largest clubs in the southeastern suburbs or in the burbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, give us a bit of a rundown in terms of your journey to how you got here today.
Cool. So when I came from the country to the city, I went back to school. I got into a TAFE course that was marketing, and I basically didn't really look at what I applied for, and I wanted to do advertising. So pretty soon enough, I figured out that I didn't want to do that, which is funny because I sort of do that now. So I left, and at that time I had a guest list at nightclubs. So I'm sure a lot of people have done this or seen this.
Yeah.
You can make $3 per head, and you got paid in drink cards and other kind of bonuses. So I was lucky enough that my network is from moving to different family members and moving from Melbourne to Broadford and all these different things. I was lucky enough that I probably had a larger network than anybody else. And there were no phones or social media back then.
Yeah.
So I was really relying on like who you were and who you knew. So I was making enough that I could live off it. And I was probably making more than some of my trading mates who were doing apprenticeships. So from there, I left TAFE, and then I went and did some pretty crappy jobs. And I was like, this is not for me. So I put all my eggs into one basket.